Learning about your rights, because everybody has rights, is very, very important, and it's something that you will learn about throughout your whole time at school. Learning about your rights makes you empowered and keeps you safe. So, this is called Dreams of Freedom, and it's in words and pictures. Now, this book was put together by Amnesty International. And Amnesty International are like this group of people, and lots of different people work for them, and they work to keep people safe and free, and they do really good work all over the world. So on the back, so the back of a book has the blurb. The blurb tells you a little bit about the story or the contents of the book, because not all books are stories. So it says, freedom to have a home, freedom of expression, freedom not to be hurt, freedom to make a difference, freedom to be yourself. Worldwide champions of human rights, from Harriet Tubman and Anne Frank to Nelson Mandela and many, many more, share their dreams of freedom in words stunningly illustrated by artists from across the globe. So, Dreams of Freedom is the title, that's the name of the book. Now, some books have a writer, an author, and an illustrator, that's the person who does the pictures. And here, it's lots of different people who have contributed to the book. So we have lots of different people who've done the writing, lots of different people who have done the illustrations, the pictures. And at the very beginning, we have a little, it's called a foreword, so somebody's just done a little bit of writing before the main bit of the book by somebody called Michael Morpurgo, and he's an author, he's a very famous author, someone who writes books. And he says, I have grown up not in a perfect country by any means, but in a society, so a place where people live and work together and be together, where by and large we can say what we like, write what we like, be who we want to be, so long as we do not threaten other people, and so long as we respect their rights. So very important, we're going to learn lots about respecting rights. Our laws are there to defend those rights. So laws are like rules, like we have rules in school, and they help everyone to treat each other with respect and kindness. Laws make sure that everybody behaves themselves, really. What we can forget if we are not careful is that it was not always like this. These rights have been fought for, died for, argued over for centuries. That's a very long time. Indeed, the struggle to protect and defend our freedom goes on both in our country and in the world beyond. So we have lots of rights in this country and they are well taken care of, but not everybody's rights are well looked after all over the world, unfortunately. So Amnesty, they're the people who put together this book, have been upholding, looking after these rights and working for these rights to make sure that they are actually happening wherever they are threatened. So Amnesty International, very awesome group. So let's look at the first picture. Here we go. Right, so here it says, freedom to dream, to achieve great things, we must dream as well as do. And that's by Anatole France. Now there are lots of wonderful names by authors and illustrators and other famous people who have achieved great things throughout the book. I'm going to do my best to pronounce them all. That means say them all correctly. But if I don't say them correctly, please forgive me. Okay, so there we go. And the illustrator of this beautiful picture is Shirin Adil, sorry, missed the last letter there. So have a good look at that picture. So freedom to dream, to achieve great things, we must dream as well as do. So I wonder what your dreams are. Now here, another picture. Freedom to be a child. Children are neither the property of their parents nor even the world. So you should be free to be a child, to enjoy all the wonderful things that being a child involves. They belong only to their own future freedom. That's by Mikhail Bakunin. And the illustration is by somebody called Brigitte Sief. So there we go. So there's some children. What do you think they're doing there? What are they doing wonder where it is that they live here. Does it look like where you live? I don't mind if I have to sit on the floor at school. All I want is education, and I am afraid of no one. And that is the freedom to learn, your right to an education. And that is by Malala Yousafzai. She's very famous, and she fought very hard to get her own education and for education for girls. Well, in her own country and in fact in all over the world now. She's done lots of amazing work. And the illustrator here is called Roger Mello. Look at this amazing picture. Look at those colours. What do you think's happening over here? Good look at that picture. What's happening here? So your right to an education. Now you're all in school, so you're having your education, so you're lucky. Some people in some parts of the world, they don't get to go to school. Freedom from fear. Fear is an instinct like hunger, and we all know it. I have learned not to let fear prevent me from what I should do. Shirin Abdi. Okay, and Alexis Deacon did the illustration here. So there we go. I wonder what it is that you fear. Does it stop you from doing things that you want to do? Why do you fear those things? Is this a fear that you could overcome? It means get over? Or not? Freedom to be yourself. If I am different, I make no apology. And I hope that others will have the courage to be themselves and stand up for what they believe in. Fight for those who need protection, love who they want to love, and be proud of it. So be yourself and be proud of you. You are wonderful just the way you are. And that's Claire Balding who said that. And somebody whose name is very, very small here and rather hard for me to read. I've got a very different style of illustration here. The freedom of expression. When I draw, it is as if a voice is shouting inside me. Ali Fazat. And this wonderful picture is by a Barrow. So here we go. What do you like to draw or paint or make? What does it feel like when you're doing art? Freedom to enjoy life and liberty. Oh, I will love the day when I break out of this cage, escape this solitary exile, and sing wildly. So here, the bird is trapped in the cage. What would it feel like to be trapped all the time, stuck in a cage? And this is Nadia Anjuman who said that, and the illustration is by Jackie Morris. Freedom not to be unfairly imprisoned. Wings will grow someday on my wheelchair and I will be able to fly over parks carpeted with children and violets. Look at that wonderful picture. That's Armando Valladares who did that and said that. Nobody should ever be trapped. Freedom from slavery. That's very serious. When I found I had crossed that line, I looked at my hands to see if I was the same person. Now I was free. There was such a glory over everything. The sun came like gold through the trees and over the fields, and I felt like I was in heaven. Harriet Tubman. So, slavery is when people keep other people and treat them as if they are theirs to do what they want with. And they don't treat them kindly, and they don't really treat them as if they're human, really. And they're very cruel to them and very unkind. And not that long ago, lots of people were kept as slaves, and it was very wrong. And people had to fight to change things so that they were no longer slaves, and they had to live very dangerous lives for a long time until things changed. And Harriet Tubman, She was she was a very amazing woman, and she did a lot for helping free slaves. Freedom through equality. My hand is not the colour of yours, but if I pierce it, I shall feel pain. If you pierce your hand, you also feel pain. The blood that will flow from mine will be the same colour as yours. I am a man, the same God made us both. This is by Chief Standing Bear of the Ponca tribe, and the illustration is by R. Gregory Christie. So sometimes people treat other people differently because of the colour of their skin. Sometimes they treat them differently because of their different gender from them, so a man or a woman, or because they choose to like different things from them or act differently from how someone thinks they should act. Or because they practice a different religion. There are lots and lots of different reasons why sometimes people treat people differently and unfairly and unkindly and not as equals. That means we treat people fairly and the same. But here they're talking, see it says, my hand is not the colour of yours, but if I pierce it, I shall feel pain. People are not lesser because of the colour of their skin. We are all equal. And if you treat someone differently because of their colour of their skin, that is racism and that is wrong. Freedom to have your own ideas. I know what I want. I have a goal, an opinion. Let me be myself and then I am satisfied. Anne Frank. And Javier Zabala did this illustration. So Anne Frank was a young girl who did lots and lots of writing during quite a scary time in the past. So always make sure your voice is heard. You have the right to be heard. Freedom to feel safe. I feel most at home when it's raining. Not too loud, but when it's falling slowly. I like to sit and watch it. Back at home in Africa, it came when the leaves were green. The world is very rough. I like it when it's gentle and calm and peaceful. It can't always be like that, but that's what I like. Jack Mapanje. And the illustration is by Dale Blackenar. So, when do you feel the safest? What makes you feel safe? Freedom to have a home. One day we will return to our homeland, snug and warm in our hopes. Oh, heart, no matter how far the winds scatter us, we will return to our homeland. Harun Hashim al-Rashid said that. And Rauf Carré did that illustration. So sometimes people have to leave where they were born or where they grew up or where they lived for a long time and come to somewhere else, maybe because it's dangerous in their own country for various different reasons. But they often wish to return home and they keep their homeland in their heart. But it doesn't mean they can't make a new home somewhere else. Right, we're going to pause there.